Your German Shepherd would take a bullet for you. He'd guard your kids, patrol your yard at 3 a.m., and follow you to the ends of the earth without a second thought. So here's a question that should make you uncomfortable. What if the food bowl you fill every single morning is slowly hurting the one dog who'd do anything to protect you? I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because German Shepherds are not like other dogs, and the feeding rules that work for a Labrador or a Poodle can quietly wreck a Shepherd's body from the inside out. This breed has a deep chest, a sensitive gut, a genetic landmine in its hips and spine, and a metabolism that doesn't forgive sloppy habits. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 10 feeding mistakes that vets see in German Shepherds again and again. Mistakes that lead to bloat, joint failure, chronic diarrhea, and a shortened lifespan. Some of these are going to surprise you. A couple of them are things you probably did this morning. Stick with me to the end, because mistake number 9 is the one that quietly cuts years off more Shepherds' lives than almost anything else, and almost nobody talks about it. Let's get into it. 1. Feeding one big meal a day to a deep-chested breed. Let's start with the one that can kill your dog in a single afternoon. The German Shepherd has a deep, narrow chest, and that body shape makes this breed one of the most at risk in the entire canine world for a condition called bloat, or gastric dilation volvulus. Here's what happens. When your Shepherd eats one enormous meal, the stomach fills fast, stretches, fills with gas, and in that deep chest cavity, it has room to literally twist on itself. Once it twists, blood supply gets cut off, the stomach starts to die, and your dog can go from totally fine to fighting for his life in under an hour. It's that fast. So what do? You split the food. An adult German Shepherd should eat at least 2 meals a day, ideally spaced out morning and evening, never one giant bowl dumped down once. You're keeping the stomach from overstretching, and you're keeping the gas and pressure low. This single change, going from 1 meal to 2 or 3 smaller ones, is one of the easiest, cheapest things you can do to protect your Shepherd's life. Don't skip it. 2. Letting them eat like a maniac right after exercise. This one ties directly to the first, and German Shepherd owners break this rule constantly because of how this breed lives. Shepherds are working dogs. You take them running, you do training drills, you play fetch until their tongue is dragging, and then you come inside, hot and tired, and you both want to relax, so you fill the bowl. That is a dangerous window. A dog who is panting hard, gulping air, and stressed from exercise has a stomach that's primed for trouble. Feeding a big meal right then, or letting him gulp a huge bowl of water and then eat, dramatically raises the risk of that stomach twist we just talked about. The fix is simple, but it requires discipline. Give your Shepherd a real cool down. Wait at least 30 to an hour after hard exercise before feeding, and let his breathing come fully back to normal. And flip it the other way, too. Don't take him out for a hard run right after he's eaten. Let the food settle for an hour or more. Your Shepherd doesn't understand why he has to wait. You do. That's the deal you signed up for. 3. Feeding puppy food for too long or adult food too soon. This mistake is sneaky because it comes from a good place. You love your puppy. The bag says puppy formula, rich in nutrients, and you think more growth fuel means a stronger dog. With a German Shepherd, that thinking can permanently damage your dog's joints for permanent damage. German Shepherds are a large breed, and large breed puppies have a very specific need. They must grow slowly. When you feed a German Shepherd puppy a rich, calorie-dense, high-calcium food that makes him shoot up too fast, his bones grow faster than his joints can keep up with. The result is a higher risk of hip dysplasia, elbow dysplasia, and developmental joint disease. And this breed is already genetically loaded for exactly those problems. So get this right. Feed a food specifically formulated for large breed puppies with controlled calcium and controlled calories, designed for steady growth, not explosive growth. And don't keep him on puppy food forever either. Most German Shepherds should transition to adult food somewhere around 12 to 15 months, but your vet should make that call based on your individual dog. The goal isn't the biggest, fastest growing puppy on the block. The goal is a Shepherd whose hips still work when he's 10. 4. Free feeding and letting your Shepherd get heavy. Walk into a lot of homes and you'll see a bowl that's always full. The owner just tops it off whenever it gets low and the dog grazes all day. For a German Shepherd, free feeding is a slow-motion disaster on two fronts. First, you have zero idea how much your dog is actually eating, which makes portion control impossible and makes detecting a loss of appetite, often the first sign of illness, nearly impossible. Second, and bigger, is weight. German Shepherds carry their extra pounds straight onto a frame that's already fighting gravity. Every extra kilo on a Shepherd is more load grinding into hips, elbows, and that long spine they're famous for. An overweight Shepherd isn't a well-fed Shepherd. He's a dog whose arthritis is going to arrive years early and hit twice as hard. Here's the standard you want. You should be able to feel your Shepherd's ribs easily without pressing hard, and you should see a visible waist tucking in when you look down at him from above. Feed measured portions at set mealtimes, not an all-day buffet. If you can't feel the ribs, you're feeding too much. Full stop. A lean German Shepherd is a Shepherd who moves better, hurts less, and lives longer. 5. Switching foods suddenly and wrecking a sensitive gut. If there's one organ that defines the German Shepherd's day-to-day comfort, it's the gut, because this breed is famous for having a touchy, temperamental digestive system. Sensitive stomachs, chronic loose stool, and food intolerances show up in Shepherds far more than in many other breeds. So when you grab a new bag of food and just dump it in the bowl that night, or you run out of the usual brand and swap to whatever the store had, you're basically setting off a gut grenade. Sudden diet changes in a Shepherd routinely trigger vomiting, gas, and days of diarrhea, and chronic upset like that doesn't just mean messy cleanups, it means poor nutrient absorption and a stressed system. The rule is to transition slowly, over 7 to 10 days. Start with mostly the old food and just a little of the new, then gradually shift the ratio day by day until you're fully on the new food. If your Shepherd is one of the truly sensitive ones, go even slower and pay attention to which ingredients his gut tolerates. Many Shepherds do far better on limited ingredient or easily digestible formulas. With this breed, slow and boring is exactly what the gut wants. 6. Ignoring the German Shepherd's specific risk for food sensitivities. Let's go deeper on that gut because this is bigger than just switching brands too fast. German Shepherds are genuinely prone to food sensitivities and a condition that can lead to chronic digestive disease. Owners often misread the signs for years, blaming everything except the bowl. Here's what gets missed. Chronic itchy skin, recurring ear infections, constant licking of the paws, soft or inconsistent stool, excessive gas. Owners treat each of these as a separate annoyance. They buy eardrops, they buy anti-itch sprays, they shrug at the gas. But in a German Shepherd, that whole cluster very often traces back to something in the diet that this individual dog simply can't handle. So become a detective. If your Shepherd has ongoing skin or tummy issues, the food is a prime suspect, not an afterthought. Work with your vet on a proper elimination diet, a genuine one where you feed a single novel protein and carbohydrate for several weeks and watch what happens, rather than randomly bouncing between sensitive stomach bags off the shelf. Figuring out what your specific German Shepherd can and can't eat is one of the highest value things you'll ever do for his long-term comfort. This breed rewards owners who pay attention. 7. Drowning the bowl in table scraps and fatty human food. Your German Shepherd is sitting there, ears up, locked onto your plate with those laser eyes, and it feels almost cruel not to share. So the bacon ends up in the bowl, the fatty trimmings off the steak, the leftover greasy rice. And here's why that's especially dangerous for this breed. High-fat human food is a leading trigger for pancreatitis, a painful, sometimes life-threatening inflammation of the pancreas, and large, active breeds like German Shepherds are very much on the list of dogs who land at the emergency vet because of a fatty treat. On top of that, all those scraps pile on calories that push your shepherd toward the weight problems we already talked about, and they unbalance a diet you carefully chose. And let's be blunt about the truly dangerous stuff, because shepherds are big enough that owners get casual. Onions, garlic, grapes, raisins, chocolate, anything sweetened with xylitol, cooked bones that splinter, and heavily salted or spiced food, these are not a little won't hurt foods. These can genuinely poison or injure your dog. If you want to share smart. A piece of plain cooked lean meat, a baby carrot, a slice of apple without seeds. Treats of any kind should make up no more than about 10% of what your shepherd eats in a day. The rest comes from real, balanced dog food. Your shepherd will survive without the bacon. He might not survive the pancreatitis. 8. Forgetting that a working breed's needs change with its life. A German Shepherd is not one static dog with one static appetite. This is a high-drive working breed, and what your shepherd needs in the bowl shifts dramatically depending on his age, his activity, and his life stage. And feeding him the same amount of the same food year after year is a real mistake. Think about the difference. A young adult shepherd doing daily training, long runs, or actual work burns serious fuel and needs the calories and protein to back it up. But that same dog at 8 or 9 years old, slowing down, maybe dealing with early arthritis, suddenly needs fewer calories or he'll pile on weight, the exact weight his aging joints can't afford. A pregnant or nursing female has completely different needs again. A neutered dog often needs less food than you'd expect because his metabolism changes. So feed the dog in front of you, not the dog he was 2 years ago. Reassess portions regularly. When your shepherd's activity drops, his food should usually drop with it. As he becomes a senior, talk to your vet about a diet that supports the joints and an easier-to-digest formula for an aging gut. The bowls should evolve as your dog does. A shepherd's life has chapters, and each one deserves its own feeding plan. 9. Skipping joint support and treating diet as separate from the hips. Here's the one I promised you, the quiet killer of German Shepherd quality of life that hardly anyone connects to feeding. We all know this breed is famous for hip dysplasia and joint problems, but owners file that under genetics or something the vet handles, and they completely separate it from the food bowl. That's the mistake. Because what you put in that bowl, starting in puppyhood and continuing for life, is one of your biggest levers over how those joints hold up. We already covered controlled growth in puppies and keeping your German Shepherd lean as an adult. Both of those are joint protection happening through food. But it goes further. The nutrients your shepherd gets, the omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation, the joint-supporting compounds many large breed and senior formulas now include, these aren't gimmicks for a breed built like this one. They're part of the long game. So stop treating feeding and joint health as two separate conversations. They are the same conversation. Keep your shepherd at a lean, correct weight his whole life. That alone does more for his hips than any supplement. Talk to your vet about whether omega-3s or a joint support diet makes sense for your dog, and at what age to start. The shepherd that eats with his joints in mind at age 2 is the shepherd still climbing the stairs without crying at age 11. That's the payoff. That's why this one matters so much. 10. Treating water and feeding routine as afterthoughts. We obsess over food and we forget the rest. And for a German Shepherd, the routine around the food matters almost as much as the food itself. Start with water. This is an active, often outdoor, sometimes heavily working breed, and a shepherd needs constant access to clean, fresh water. But remember what we said about bloat. Don't let an overheated shepherd guzzle an enormous volume of water in one go right around mealtime. Offer water steadily throughout the day so he's never desperate. Hydration also matters more if you feed dry kibble, which has almost no moisture in it. Then there's the routine itself. German Shepherds are intelligent, structure-loving dogs who genuinely thrive on predictability. Feeding at wildly random times or in a chaotic, high-stress environment with other animals crowding the bowl creates anxiety and encourages fast, stressed gulping, which again feeds straight back into the bloat risk. Set consistent meal times. Give your shepherd a calm, quiet spot to eat without being rushed or guarded. Use a slow feeder bowl if he's a gulper, because slowing down the eating reduces the air he swallows and the pressure on that vulnerable stomach. It sounds basic, but the breed that does best is the one whose entire feeding life, the food, the water, the timing, the calm, is handled with intention. Your shepherd can't build that routine for himself. You build it for him. So there they are, 10 feeding mistakes that vets see chewing away at German Shepherd's health every single day. Bloat from one giant meal, joint damage from rushing a puppy's growth, pancreatitis from fatty scraps, and that quiet number 9 where the food bowl and the hips turn out to be the same story all along. If this helped you see your German Shepherd's bowl a little differently, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because this channel is built for owners who want to do right by their dogs, and there's a lot more coming. Drop a comment and tell me which mistake caught you off guard, or which one you're fixing first. And before you go, check out the video popping up on your screen right now. It's the next one you'll want to watch to keep your German Shepherd healthy, strong, and by your side for as long as possible. Take care of that dog. He'd do the same for you.